I can tell you, coming into the vegan lifestyle, I thought it was supposed to be this compassionate lifestyle. When I say compassion, I'm talking about university compassion. And when I came into it and found out about the Black and white vegan infighting and just infighting alone, I said, you know what? I really don't want any parts of this, because I'm going to go practice ahimsa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, forget all this vegan stuff, because, you know, but then you think racism is racism. So no matter where you go, no matter where you hide, it's going to exist. So how do we bridge the gap?
You know, if we just focus on the white people, and it's a very small percentage of the world. And if you want to talk to the rest of the world, and which is like people of color, I actually led a panel discussion earlier, and there were people from Japan, China, Hong Kong, Pakistan, and Morocco. If you want a vegan world, those people need to go vegan. So you need to actually address these, social justice issues. You cannot just ignore race and, skin color, as you call it. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry. I have to say that because I think, that's what, yes, a white ally is actually somebody who recognizes why it is important to do this work, right. Why it is important to have this discussion here. I just think, it is really ridiculous that there are still vegans who don't understand that, we need to actually talk about racism. And yes, they need to understand why it is important to have people of color in all the platforms that matter. And they need to understand that, just saying you are against racism is not enough. You need to do the work. And once you have these people of color, on your platforms, listen to them. Right. Don't assume that you know better than them. I think a white ally recognizes all of that.
So reflecting is not enough. You really have to do some anti-racist work and be held accountable. And so what are some examples of this? Get involved, donate your time and services to BIPOC-led racial justice efforts. As a healthcare practitioner, I looked at, well, what are my interests? Yes, lifestyle medicine, health wellness, health equity. So I'm involved in research at the Versa Foundation that assures BIPOC representation in their research. I'm also involved with a group called Health Equity Achieved Through Lifestyle Medicine. But really important, as a white person, I consider myself a guest in these organizations. I listen, follow their leadership, do not take over. I do not decide, what is needed. They decide what is needed and take the lead. And it's my job to really break the silence on racism, make sure that anti-racism gets on the table and stays on the table.
And so when we talk about solutions, I think it's really important to talk about language. And something I'd really like to point out is that vegan is not an ancient word. It's not derived from any of the classical languages like Latin or Sanskrit. And this tells us that it was an invented word, something that was coined in the 1940s. And where else have we seen examples of inventions and discoveries in colonialism? I mean, Columbus Day is coming up, and we still celebrate the fact that someone discovered America, when in fact, indigenous people have been inhabiting this land for centuries, and Native people did not have to be discovered. They were already there.
Right.
And in the same respect, when we attribute that a certain lifestyle choice was invented, this implies that this way of living didn't exist before. So I would like to set the record straight. The Vegan Society gave veganism a name for something that we have been doing for centuries across indigenous, Eastern, South American, and African cultures.
White allies. What is it?
Well, first of all, it's a lifetime worth of work. It's not reading a book and watching a documentary and you're like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay. And then you go on to your life. You don't stop because you've been programmed in the womb. So it's not going to just take a few books and a few movies to deprogram. It's a lifetime worth of work. It's continually evolving and, learning and seeing, you're part of this planet. So it's not something you just do one time and then you stop. You continue to do the work because it's going to take a few lifetimes to reverse all of this and to get things back on balance. So yeah, just don't stop doing the work. I understand it can be taxing because I've had to take a break from the work I thought I was going to be doing. It was like just too much on me mentally and emotionally. So I know I've had some white friends say, I don't know how I didn't know. I don't know how you all have been functioning in this. So if you got to take a break, but get back into it.